Hello students, welcome back to the class. Last class we have discussed about dynamic nature of Indian politics. In the last class we have discussed about the India which they have attained independence in 1947. So India have attained the various concepts like socialist, sovereign socialist, secular democratic republic, etc. We know that why India is called as sovereign state because our country can take the decisions internally and externally without depending on any other country. That's why India is a sovereign state. Socialist state means the country which takes which mainly cares for the upliftment of weaker section of the people. Our country have reduces the gap among have and have not. Our country starts many welfare activities, so India is a socialist state. India is a secular because in our country all the religions were treated equally, that's why India is a secular state. India is a democracy because in our country we have constitution, we have independent judiciary. These are the features of democracy. And in our country we have universal adult franchise. This is the biggest element of democracy. Universal adult franchise means the people who complete 18 years of age have right to vote. That's why India is a democratic country. And India is a republic country because in our country all the peoples are elected, whatever the heads are there, president and prime ministers are appointed by the people either directly or indirectly. In the last class we have discussed that Indian governments are moving towards socialist pattern of society. Socialist pattern of society in the sense in our country, okay, our society is mainly the welfare based society, but not our society is not only not working, it is not working for the private profit, but this is mainly working to provide the welfare benefits for the society. That's why our society is mainly socialist pattern of society. India have mainly the key points are our economy is a mixed economy, it's a combination of both capitalism as well as socialism, okay, and we have discussed about various concepts, okay. Now we will go forward. Also we have discussed that in India have started many programs so that they can able to elevate the poverty and they can able to make the economic development by increasing the development of agriculture as well as industries, and for that we have started green revolution. Okay, in the last class we have discussed what is meant by green revolution. Increasing of food production is called as green revolution, and the father of green revolution in India is M.S. Swaminathan. Okay, in America, so green revolution was implemented by Norman Borlaug. After that in India this was implemented by M.S. Swaminathan. So development of increasing of food production is called as green revolution. Now if you see that our successive government have not fulfilled the basic demands of the people. Okay, even though the government was successful, but they are unable to fulfill the basic demands of many people. Okay, people have lot of demand, but all the demands were not met and all the demands were not satisfied, and that's why that is the main reason that a different type of protest movement started. So children, whenever why the social movement is going on, very simple, whenever the demands are not met, okay, when the goals are not met, then the people are going for any movement in the society, that is social movement. It is also called as protest movement. You can find trade union movement, they have started, Dalit movement, one movement, tribal movement, other movement. Whenever the movement are mainly started by the trade unions on the behalf of the workers. In our society if you see that trade union movements are nothing but this is a movement which are mainly started for trade union organization. The trade unions are mainly meant to protect the interests of the workers, to improve the betterment of the workers, to improve the living conditions of the workers. Trade union movements, union were started. On the other hand, if you see Dalit movements are started. Why the Dalit movements are mainly started? Mainly because they wanted to protect the interest of Dalits. Okay, Dalit also not satisfied because their conditions were not met. Okay, they also wanted tribal different type of tribal movements were started. Okay, so we can find there are many movements are started by the tribal peoples. So why these movements are going on? Whenever their demands are not met, when they are not satisfied, when the goals are not achieved, when the government are unable to fulfill the goals and demand, then the movements will start. These types of movement is called protest movement. Okay, or social movement also we can find. So this movement are mainly based upon Protestant and social condition. On the other hand, if you see that assertion of rights, we can find most of the people rights were completely asserted. Okay, most of the people's rights were completely asserted. Okay, here if you see that peoples are different sections, and this results in the emergence of caste as well as communities leadership. People's rights were most of the time were asserted. Asserted means making them force. Whenever if you are applying force, when you are not making them to follow their rights, so their rights are asserted completely. Okay. So most of the people's rights were asserted, and these people's rights which were asserted were belongs to the different sections and different community, and because of the rights which were asserted, this led for the emergence of in leadership among the caste and communities. Okay. So if you see that there are various leadership were emerged. So this is the main reason, because the main thing is political parties and whatever the Indian political parties which they came to power before independent before elections they will give number of promises, but after when they came to power they never fulfill the promises of many peoples. This is the main reason that people are going for the movements like trade unions, okay, like Dalit movement was started, or tribal movements are started. So these all movements are mainly started because when the conditions were not met, and when the rights were asserted, when their rights were asserted by different section, then what happened, that led for the leadership, different type of leadership will form among caste and communities, and this leadership will dominate, and sometimes the alternative leaders means that leaders will challenge the traditional leaders in the political parties. Okay, why? Because he is getting support. So when the rights are asserted, when different type of rights are asserted, in that condition what happen, in form of caste as well as community, okay, different type of leaders will form, and these leaders what they will do, they will try to challenge the traditional leaders also in the political process. Next, if you see that disgruntled youth is nothing but angry and dissatisfied youth. Most of the youths are not satisfied and angry, and these youths what they will do, when they will be dissatisfied they will be attracted towards extremism and terrorism. This is a main thing. So from this concept what we have learned that dynamic nature of Indian politics means we have to satisfy the needs of all the people. Okay, if we can able to satisfy the needs, or if we can able to fulfill the promises, and if you satisfy, then the leadership will not formed in the basis of caste and communities, and the youth which are dissatisfied they will not be attracted towards terrorism, and they will not be attracted towards extremism. This is one point. So in this point what we have discussed, children, we have discussed about dynamic nature of Indian politics. In the last class already we have discussed that India have got independence and achieved independence in 1947. India have achieved a various concept. India is a sovereign state, India is a socialist state, India is a democratic state, India is a republic state, okay, because of various features. India have accepted the parliamentary form of government. So we have taken the concept parliamentary form, we have taken from the British constitution, we have taken the parliamentary form of government. And we have discussed that India, our society is mainly based upon welfare, socialist pattern of society. So whatever the society where our government mainly uplift the poor people or provide welfare activities, then private profit, then that type of society which mainly concentrate on welfare activities than private property, that is called as socialist pattern of society. And also we have discussed that in the last class that India have selected a mixed economy. Our economy is a mixed economy. Mixed economy is a combination of capitalism, and mixed economy is a combination of socialism. Okay, it is a combination of both the things, capitalism as well as socialism, so that is called as mixed economy. We have discussed that Indian government is doing lot of efforts to remove the poverty and to develop the people. Indian government is putting lot of efforts. Indian government have started a green revolution to increase the food production. Indian government have started a green revolution. Green revolution means increasing of food production is called as green revolution. Now here if you see the successful government which came to power, they are unable to satisfy the needs of the people, and that led for the because of that the demand of people were not met, and due to that whenever the successful government unable to fulfill the demand, that led for the form of various movements among various sections like trade unions movement, Dalit movements, tribal movements, etc. And because most of the people's rights were completely asserted, okay, by the different sections, and that's led for the form of different type of leadership. They started forms from the caste as well as communities. Now if you see that there are some other alternative leaders, sometimes they will challenge the traditional leaders of the political party. So these alternative leaders means other leaders from the caste and community, sometimes they will challenge the traditional leaders and in the political process. And there are many youth, they were not happy, and these youth were attracted towards extremism as well as communism. So overall what we have to do is the government, if they can able to satisfy the needs and fulfill the demands, then never the youth will be attracted towards extremism as well as terrorism. The only one thing is demand should be met. If the demand will be met, then here no different movements will form. Neither the trade unions will form, neither Dalit movements will form, neither tribal movements will form. So the government should work upon various sections for the people. If the government works for only one section of the people, normally the other sections will protest. So here what is the conclusion is, I am concluding that here what we have to do is, government should preserve all the sections of the people. When all the sections of the peoples are protected, movements will not form and movements will not form. So government have to work in the form of free and favorable points. So our Indian government is working in the same direction, free and favorable concept. So this is the point. So children, here we have discussed about many concepts. Okay, we have discussed all the important concept. Okay, so that is one point. We will meet you in the next class. We will meet you in the next class. We will continue the last topic of this point, and thank you very much, children. So we will meet you in the next class.